Friends, welcome back to the channel. I'm here with my good friend Jana from Whiskey and Sunshine, and today we got to interview the cast of Raising Dion. Raising Dion is on Netflix. Season 2 is dropping February 1st, and this season Dion is not only protecting himself and his mom, but now they've got to protect Atlanta. There is a whole new mess of chaos coming their way, and we get introduced to a couple of newcomers. There's a new kid who is also powered and sus, and Tevin, played by Rome Flynn, who is a powered being who kind of helps Dion, learn his powers and kind of practice with them and stuff like that. So we talked to Alisha Wainwright, who plays Nicole, Dion's mom, Rome, the newcomer, and Jason Ritter, who is Pat. And we talked everything from comic books to stunt work. Rome has some big aspirations if he sticks around for season 3. We hope he does. Hopefully. We don't know anything about season 3 yet, so no spoilers. But you just have to wait and see what they say. But yeah, it's going to be a great season for Raising Dion fans. Rome, what was it like joining the Raising Dion family and getting to see yourself on screen for the first time with all the powers and that cool stuff?
It was a dream come true, as an actor, but also just as a fan of sci-fi type of stuff. I hadn't had the opportunity to do something like this before, so to be a part of this show in particular is just, it's been really great, to be able to be such a strong character, but also be a flawed character throughout the season and working opposite Alisha. And, Josiah's, there's a lot of great things about the show. I think it's very well written, very well done. They put the money in to make sure that the effects look good. And that's super important because if they look bad, it takes you completely out of the show and everything. So yeah, I'm overjoyed. I'm humbled to be able to be a part of it.
Alisha, you have seen the kids grow up so much from season 1 to season 2. What has been your favorite part about working with them? And then related to that, also, like, you have this innate ability working with them, but you're not a parent, correct?
No.
So it's like I'm like, how does she do that? Because I want some of those skills and I'd like to take some lessons. But yeah, what's it like working with these kids from, season to season and watching them grow?
Honestly, it's almost like the question is the answer. It's like watching them grow is kind of an incredible thing to watch Josiah and Sammy, who had never stepped in front of a camera before, and to watch these little ones kind of just like bloom and to watch themselves on TV and to have this camaraderie, like they're best friends on their own, like outside of work, like they FaceTime each other all the time. Like it's super cute. And to kind of witness that, because to be completely honest, I was sometimes a little afraid. I'm like, are we like messing this kid up? As because Hollywood can be kind of a hard place. But I think shooting the show in Atlanta, and I think, almost everyone, minus me, has partners, have children and have these like family dynamics. So it's such a warm, like healthy place to have kids working out of. So I think we bring a lot of the element. Season 1, we had like 4 baby births, through different, like castmates and their wives. And this season, our directing EP, they had a new baby. So it's just like, it's just a very family friendly show on screen and off screen too. Yeah.
Tevin has some serious moves because he's powered in this. So what was it like? Were you able to perform most of your own stunts? Were there any that were especially difficult to land that you were like, I'll let the professionals handle that?
Did everything myself. No help from anybody. I'm kidding. No, for real. The guy who was doing all the cool stuff, he deserves all of the credit. All I simply had to do was make sure I turned the right way like he did. And even that was hard. So, he was amazing. I wish they could have used him more. I want to do stuff like that, but maybe I'm going to do some training, over the next couple of months. And when I come back, then I'm going full Tom Cruise. I'm doing everything myself.
There you go. Season 3, you can do all the stuff. Jason, thank you for taking time to talk with us today.
I like your background.
Question, did you work closely with Griffin to kind of help him really embrace that inner crooked man? And what was that like?
Yeah, I did. I talked to him quite a lot. And it was great. He was really receptive to it, and he brought his own. He has a real ability to sort of walk the line between his innocent face and his very creepy stare. And he was really good with the stillness of it. It really feels like in a lot of those scenes that there are conflicting things going around in his head. But it was fun. It was also fun to have a little partner in my evil plans.
That's awesome. Well, he's doing a great job. So you definitely nailed it. Thank you.
Well, your character loves comics and describes himself as a comic aficionado, not a geek or a nerd, because that's offensive. Right. And that $12 comic book is not going to buy your trust.
Exactly.
Did you read comics as a kid? And if you did you have a favorite like comic line, series, author, character?
I did read a lot of comics as a kid. I never was the kind of comic book aficionado that kept them in the plastic, or I didn't know about any of that stuff. I just liked to read them, and then I have them in a big pile somewhere. And I liked everything. I liked, for some reason, the comic graphic novel style of storytelling is something that my brain goes, yeah, I can pay attention to this. Sometimes with books, I have a little bit of a harder time. My brain goes, woo-hoo. But anyway, I loved everything from like Archie and Betty and Veronica to Green Lantern to like the Sandman books. I sort of it was like anything that I could sort of get my hands on. Robert Crumb, anything that was sort of laying around the house, I'd go, oh, this has pictures and words. Let me take a look at this. I've always loved it, and it's been interesting to see the world kind of change around their opinions of, or more people come out and say, yes, I love this too, and I'm not afraid of being teased about it.
So you were kind of talking about comic books earlier, and since this is based on a comic, did you get a chance to read it before taking on the role of Pat and then kind of following his journey so you kind of knew what to expect?
I read it actually after I was cast, and after I met Dennis, and I talked to him about it, and he gave me a copy of it. And but I believe that the Pat in the comic books is not the Pat that's in the show. So it's interesting. It's almost like a Raising Dion parallel universe where I think when Carol and all the writers with Dennis had the idea of what if Pat is the crooked man, Dennis, who created all these characters, was as blown away as we all were. He's like, but I'm Pat. I feel like he identifies so much with Pat, and a lot of us do, that he was sort of surprised. But then as the thread started to kind of go through all of the things that they had laid in of Pat kind of just sort of cutting little corners morally, like things that are not awful, but it's not great to be like, hey, you don't need to tell your mom about this, even though I'm friends with your mom, and there are just little moments where you go, that's okay, well, maybe he's just like that. But to have it all kind of pulled together, and this guy who wants things the way he wants and is upset when he doesn't get them, I thought they did a great job of kind of laying that in. But I highly recommend the comic book for anybody, and especially for fans of Raising Dion the show, because it's interesting to see how they both kind of grew into their separate things.
Definitely. Thank you.
Yeah.